when the voters approved those construction bonds, it means you can only use it for construction. And if I could, I would announce tonight the groundbreaking for that is on Wednesday, the 17th.
Yes, sir.
10 o'clock in the morning at the high school and 11:30 in the morning at the, what will be the K6 building in Greenhills. So people remember that, and I'm glad they do, because there is, I get asked, we proved that, so where's the dirt being moved?
Right.
I don't see any big yellow pieces of equipment in the front yard of the school at the moment. That's coming in a week and a half.
Well, counting the meetings that we've had to prepare for this bond, it's real interesting that you mentioned, is it time for the dirt to move? We actually had one meeting yesterday, so we're up to a total of 120 meetings that we've had in order to prepare for this incredible opportunity for our children. And I'm sure there'll probably be 120 more meetings. But we've been very, very diligent. We've been steadfast, and the architects have been absolutely incredible to work with. I think what's happened in the past, usually you have a building and you put kids in it, and that's called school. Well, these schools are actually designed for project-based learning. They're designed for our kids. They're designed for the transformational model.
So, Dr. Smith, can we use these new buildings for non-project-based learning, or can they only be used for project-based learning? Thanks.
These schools are actually designed for project-based learning. They're designed for our kids. They're designed for the transformational model. And so we're very, very excited. The community is excited. And now we need to do the next part of our phase, which is this substitute levy, so that we can continue to grow our process.
So, Dr. Smith, again, calling it a substitute levy is a little confusing because, again, you're saying it's substituting for a levy that is actually expiring. It's going away. Wouldn't renewal be a more accurate word, or wouldn't a new levy be a more accurate word? Because, again, the 10-year emergency levy, as I understand it, is expired. It's gone. So now this is a new levy. It's a substitute. It's new. It's a renewal. That's why, again, I think myself and several others are confused about what's going on. So can you please explain more and more, why do y'all call it a substitute as opposed to the old mechanisms that raised money? Thank you.
Observed as a member of the community in the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio's method of school funding is crazy, it is inadequate, and it's been declared unconstitutional.
He always gets excited about that part.
It's been, thank you, declared unconstitutional 4 times by the state Supreme Court, but yet it's the only system we have. Part of the major feature of the school funding is it is not inflation adjusting.
Right.
So whatever the money is that gets approved, that's the maximum that gets approved for the lifetime of that levy. So it does generate feelings. I didn't say data. It generates feelings in people.
So, Mr. Pennycuff, you just mentioned that it generates feelings among the voters. And again now, I would suggest to you there, didn't the board tell the voters in 2009 that this would be a 10-year emergency levy? It would be over in 10 years and then done. Can you understand feelings of being deceived as a result of the board words of 2009 and now getting told by the board and the superintendent that they really didn't want that emergency levy to effectively really end after all? I'm asking you, can you understand those feelings you're alluding to of being deceived, possibly? Thanks, Mr. Pennycuff.
Whatever the money is that gets approved, that's the maximum that gets approved for the lifetime of that levy. So it does generate feelings. I didn't say data. It generates feelings in people. Didn't we just approve something Because in the state of Ohio, school systems in general have to go to the voters every 4 or 5 years in order to recoup the loss due to inflation.
So